Hi everyone, let's talk about Vinhos Deluxe Edition. And for a start, it's if you saw the gallerist, if you've ever seen bits of that, then you'll know that it's got the same lavish production as that's got. You know, the really thick cardboard pieces for even the money, the lovely, the special enologists and farmers that you get in it. Everything is, really lovingly crafted to a ridiculously high degree, like probably higher than anything else I can think of. The artwork's in that same. It's in its own style. It suits Vinhos, but it's in that similar gallerist style. Well, it's the same graphic designer, of course it is, but that same kind of minimalist look that kind of really draws your attention to where it needs to be. Really like that. Although don't get me wrong, I really liked old Vinhos from What's Your Game. There was nothing wrong with the art there before. I loved it just fine there. So in comparing the two just for looks, I think it's just down to taste, really. I like them both for what they are. I like that I like the Watch Your Game style anyway, and that looked like a kind of old-fashioned thing, and this looks, well, kind of modern and old at the same time. It's very clean and functional and beautiful in that way. So in terms of gameplay, the old Vinhos, the 2010 vintage as it's now called, is on the other side of this board. So you can play Vinhos as it was just fine with all of this new stuff. It comes with a few extra components that are needed for the original 2010 game. And you can play with this 2016 vintage as well, which takes out things, as I mentioned in the playthrough, it takes out the bank, which is a really nice touch. Whenever you sold wine, the money went to the bank, you didn't get money in your hand, it went into your bank and you had to go to the bank as an action to draw it out. And then there was an interesting thing where you could take loans, or you could invest, and you could take loans and then you'd have to pay money every round, or you could invest and then you would earn money every round if you were really well off. That was a really, really nice element to it, but you can see why it was taken out to streamline it. The other thing is the fare's been made more simple. It used to be that you had these flavor markers that went up every round based on the weather tiles. I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since we played the old Vinhos. And there were some tweaks in that the maintenance is quite simple in the new version. You just take a barrel back at the end of every year, whereas in old Vinhos, there had to be pairs. I think you had to have the same number in different colours to be able to take them back. It was something to do with pairs. It was a lot more difficult to get your barrels back, but you did get them back two at a time instead. So there's tweaks here and there, and they definitely do make it smoother. It's still a very heavy game. You've got all of these tiles now as well, these extra action tiles and bonus point tiles, which are really nice because you know what's going to be coming out. So once you're on your way and you've got all of these things going, like I could see that I was getting a load of full estates, then the one that rewards you for having full estates is definitely one to get. And that seems like a good one to do in the solo game because you're going to get accolades for filling up your estates as well. If I could have done it one more time. And speaking of the solo game, this is another really, really brilliant design. It takes, just like the gallerist did, it takes such a complex, heavy game and gives you, there's more going on than in the gallerist. The gallerist is kind of the ultimate in just simplicity. The Lacerda is just going to move one space every turn, and he's going to leave an assistant behind where you can get some kicked out actions if he kicks you out, and you have to pay extra tickets, which advances the game if you move over his assistants. It's a really simple system. Here it's more involved and can lead to some radically different games. It's better at simulating a player, for example, because he's going to be blocking off spaces where you'll have to pay. He's going to be blocking off the export market. He's going to be taking everything from the game, the wineries, the cellars, the people that you can put on the board, even the tiles as well. And he's going to keep taking tiles until he runs out of cards or barrels. He's going to keep taking these multiplier tiles that are worth 10 points to him. So in a normal game, you could kind of be thinking, well, that's no good for that person, so who cares if that's still there? Lacerda gets 10 points no matter what, so you have to worry about it. And he just accrues all of this money as well, and you need more money than him for the accolades. He got 18 points in this game for having all the money. It's a really, really nice system, while it's still being, it's fairly random in what's going to be discarded and things like a lot of the wineries and a lot of the vineyards he discarded didn't really affect me, whereas if he'd have picked the numbers I really wanted, he could have really messed me up. but he does add renown cubes to those things. So if he does happen to go into regions you're already in, you're getting renown cubes that you can then spend. And that's another thing. He's a real nuisance for getting rid of renown cubes in regions you care about. You know, it's not like in the two-player games that I've played of Vinhos, we kind of keep ourselves to ourselves. We're in our own regions and we have our own renown cubes, and we're not too bothered about what the other person's doing. In this game, you need to get those renown cubes spent, because there are many actions where Lacerda is just going to take all of those cubes away and, you know, rob you of those bonuses. Potentially, you know, you needed that cube to get that 1 point to get the edge on the fair. There are some really, you know, nail-biting moments where it's really, really tense. So another really great solo mode. I love the, as in the Gallerist, the thing where there's those tiers at the end where you get a title based on whether you've done certain things as well. In the Gallerist, you had to do specific criteria to satisfy those things. Here, it's you know, certain things will give you accolades, and those the number of accolades you get determines the rank you get at the end. So yeah, really, really like the new, you know, spruced up, super fantastic components. The new streamlined game is really, really nice. The solo version is excellent. Really, really, really like Vinhos Deluxe Edition. As for comparison between for solo between this and the Gallerist, I think I still prefer the Gallerist, but I don't know if that's because of the game. I definitely, you know, just love the game of the Gallerist. I love the theme of it more, and the actual, you know, going through it and promoting those artists and filling up your gallery and things and getting the tokens. I just love the Gallerist, and it would be very, very hard to, you know, topple that from Vinhos. But I really, really liked how different it is and how much more involved it is. It doesn't really require you to do much more. You're just drawing cards and then remembering what those cards do. Like sometimes it's just as simple as remove some pieces from the board, and then sometimes there's a few more steps to be remembered. But yeah, I think Gallery still has the edge, but really, really love all of the modes of Vinhos Deluxe Edition. So that's it, I think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.